I clicked the wrong one. Well, we're not going to have the music intro tonight. Hi, everybody. The Quacking Monkey wants to say hi as well. He's joining us
Way to
this evening.
adjust on the fly.
And of course, you get right. I know. I clicked the wrong one. I clicked add a video clip instead of the music intro video clip. So, yeah,
I get
technical
it.
difficulties per usual. But as always, we've got Charlie here and our man Stu in his festive attire. Nice. I love the goat the chin hair on that one. It's
Chin
really
here,
strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's on fleek.
Yeah, it like stands out more than like here's the other one.
Well, that's because he's
His
got his
doesn't.
winter coat on. He's got a little darker coat on now.
Yeah, he's got like it's like he's been in Jamaica for a while or something.
Wait a
He's got
minute.
tan.
Wait a minute. I just noticed something. Darker up here, really light here. I think he's trying to take after me.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that happens in old age, I guess. So. Well, yo, everybody. Welcome back to the live show. We have a few things to go over tonight. The main thing, or the most exciting thing, is I have a giant box of promos. That's right, promos from Card Dealer Pro. And I haven't even cracked it open yet, so we're going to see what's in it. These are going to be things we're going to use for our demonstrations at the GOAT show coming January 12th in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 9 to 2 p.m. And Charlie and I are going to do a little demo of Card Dealer Pro and using the scanner. Hopefully, as long as the scanner's still working, right?
Well,
And
now
the
that we got,
software, I should say,
now that we got the issue figured out, it should be relatively easy to fix next time. And I was told that I should never have to worry about it again.
Yeah, that's one of those things.
I was like, that is confidence right there.
That is, yeah. And when someone says never, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
that's very tough. So that's gonna be the big surprise. I don't know when we'll get to the box. We'll see what happens. How long we want to wait. I want to try to wait. I think a little closer to when we get more of our peak audience joining us. We're always a little late, so usually the audience comes in a little bit late too to compensate for our lateness, I guess.
our lateness, is that a thing?
Our lateness. Well, yeah, sure it is. Wouldn't you say it's a thing? Gotta adjust the Kawaki in here. Trying to ride up my shoulder.
I don't know that we've ever been late to this show.
No, that's what I said. I always blame it on the viewers, Why not?
Blame it on the viewers.
What are they gonna do? Say something? They're not on screen.
I'm trying to get you our flyer up here once.
Yeah, we're gonna have another new one because we're gonna have some pictures of the packs we're giving away, which I've taken photos I've taken and removed the background, and then hopefully some photos of some of the stuff we get from Card Dealer Pro here tonight. Just to sort of tease the demonstration. Hopefully we got some things we can give away. And not just stuff we can use at the show, but things we can give to the attendees that are interested in such a thing. So I think it'll be fun. I've never seen that done at a show. So
I tell you, I am technologically challenged lately for some reason. That is normally not a weakness of mine.
I would say not, no.
But for some reason, lately, nothing is working the way I want.
And I'm kind of having the opposite. I was going to buy a new laptop, but I decided, well, why don't I take this one and clean it up? I dumped a bunch of stuff. I redid a bunch of things. And this is the first time I'm doing this live since I did that. And I can tell it's hanging in there much better.
Really?
Yeah. I don't see the lag, at least on my end. I don't know. Maybe you guys see something different, but
so far it's good.
Yeah, everything seems really solid. So I think maybe my machine was just, when a laptop, especially a cheaper laptop, gets to be 4 or 5 years old and it's constantly being used. I had a bunch of stuff in my waste bin that I never emptied, and just some apps on there that I don't use anymore, things like that. So I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and it was a lot more efficient all day today, just using it for work. And then I thought, well, it should be good for the show. Now my intention was to use my phone like I'd been doing the last couple of weeks, which is a much better piece of equipment generally, except my front screen completely died last night. So
Really?
tech issues. Now the inside works fine. I open it up, everything works fine inside, but I had to go today and uh, file a claim, and I have a new phone coming tomorrow. So, of course, that happens the day of a show when I really need the front screen for something. Um, but
There
yeah,
it is.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
So there it is, the Goat Show. Flyer's been updated a little bit. We got the photo on there of the Sterling Sharp helmet we'll be giving away. And all you have to do to qualify to be entered to win that helmet is to bring some canned goods, or I should more accurately state, some non perishable goods to donate to the card show on January 12th, the Goat Show at historic Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay. Um, that'll get you a couple, each piece of food you bring will get you a ticket entered into the drawing to win that sweet, sweet Sterling Sharp helmet. It is authenticated by Beckett. That it doesn't show it in that photo because Beckett always puts the sticker on the back of the helmet.
Sure.
I suppose because they don't want to detract from what people actually want to look at, which is the helmet and the autograph. But it is authenticated by Beckett. And I think that was pulled from like one of those autograph helmet blind package box type things, like from TriStar or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where that had come from. So it came from a product that specializes in those types of autograph pieces. So fear not, everything is authenticated and good for you that way. And I'm hoping that's a real popular draw. We had a Randy Moss helmet, which I mean, he's a Hall of Famer and everything. Although Sterling Sharp looks like he might get in. Let's see.
Looks like it. I think he should, but I
Nope.
understand the challenge because his career was shortened by a neck injury. So
Yeah, I think if you get him in, it would be a little bit on a future projection of what he would have done
yeah,
based on his prior accomplishments. I think that's the real challenge there. You have to be accepting of that, and I don't know that all the voters will be. We'll see, I guess, but it would be
yep,
exciting to have him in. So this could be potentially another autographed helmet of a Hall of Famer. He is a
right.
Packer. He is a Packer Hall of Fame, so he does have that. But in the actual Canton Pro Football Hall of Fame, he is not there yet. But this, I
Not
think,
yet.
he has a good shot this year. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so that's kind of it for updates with the show. Like I said, we've got the big box of Card Dealer Pro promos that we'll get to in a little while.
Hey, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's like a critter on your shoulder.
Where?
The other side.
Where? Oh, who, me?
So,
Yeah,
what is the species again?
he's a Kowakian monkey.
Kowakian monkey.
Kowakian monkey. So this Kowakian monkey happens to be the one that most people know, which is Salacious Crumb.
Well, I didn't know if we
Uh,
could say the name.
yeah, we can say the name.
All right.
Salacious Crumb is Jabba the Hutt's little pet Kowakian monkey. Kind of hangs out on his tail and causes mischief and does all those types of things. But the race of the creature, if you want to call them that, is Kowakian monkeys. So they have different colors and different shaped like nose, beak things, and so there's some differences within the species itself. But this is the one that everybody really knows,
I've
and they all
never
have that
seen the
crazy little
different
laugh.
colors and things.
Yeah, there's green ones, there's red ones. Some of them have different, like they have the little fur on their ears and stuff. Some of them have different fur. It's kind of hard to tell right now because he's got his little winter hat on, but he has a little bit of a little bit of hair on his head and stuff too, and that can come in slightly different colors and patterns as well. So yes,
It's
I'm a
very
nerd.
well behaved.
I'm a Star Wars nerd. Well, right now he is, right? He's interested. He's like, this show is awesome. He's like, I'm gonna watch this show every week.
Very nice.
He says, no, I'm not. So everyone wants a puppet, and I thought, okay, if I gotta have a puppet, I want a cool puppet. And what's better than a Kowakian monkey, right? I mean, that's tops
That's
of everybody's list, isn't it?
that's a
Or it
good call.
should be anyway. Okay, so hopefully we'll get some good chat tonight too. I think everybody's got a lot going on right now between holidays and sales and all kinds of crazy things happening. Um, Sales have been really, really good for me, uh, which I mean, I just somewhat expected based on history, but until it sort of starts hitting you in the face and coming at you quickly, um, you don't really know, right? You always have this like, well, what if this is the year where people don't buy cards for Christmas, you know? And that definitely has not been the case. One thing I did today, spent about an hour doing, is end listings and sell similar.
Okay.
Because I'm just over 59,000 now, and I don't have the scanner, so I'm not like listing in bulk. Um, I got all my Uno cards listed, and then I went and bought 5 more packs of Uno because I like to punish myself. Um, but anyway, so I did list some new stuff too, but uh, I wanted to make sure that I took some opportunity to try to get some stuff back in front of where there's more eyes. You know, there's more eyes this time of year.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take some of those auctions, or not auctions, some of those listings that, haven't gotten bites in the last couple months, and put them back out there. And that definitely helped. I definitely sold some of that stuff. So this is your chance. If you have some things you want to try to sell, and it doesn't even have to be cards. It can be anything. Um, you know, toys, home goods, electronics, anything right now can sell. So just keep that in mind. If you have something you want to move, I'd put it out like now, like probably yesterday, but now is still okay. You got till probably the 17th or 18th. Um, if you're trying to get stuff out before Christmas to people.
Right.
Uh, After that, it gets a little dicey, and I would have a hard time even talking to your customer and letting them know that, yeah, I can get that to you by Christmas. Um, Once we pass the 18th, because that could be tough. So
So
how's things been going for you? I know you've had challenges with the scanning software.
yeah, sales have been pretty consistent though. Really no complaints there.
Oh, that's good.
Been hitting my averages. Had a couple isolated days here and there, more so a week ago and beyond. But the last 7 days or so have been pretty consistent. I continue to kind of slowly bump up my average,
Yeah.
which is what we want to do, right? Like
Yep.
we always talk about, you don't want to go from 0 sales to 300 in sales overnight because you probably can't handle that fast of a change.
Yeah, exactly.
But I typically, I feel like I see my average sales go up about a $5 bump every so often, on a daily basis.
Sure.
So I'm pleased with the steady growth. Can't complain. Can't complain. I'm seeing some good diversity in cards going out. Getting some multi-card orders. Still primarily the bulk of my sales are singles. I still need to work on getting more conversions to multi-cards, but I do get multi-card orders every day, just not as many as I would like.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with just numbers, to be honest with you. If you
Yeah.
I get I have so many team buyers now. If you watch my sales day video today, which I know you didn't because you don't watch my videos, but um if you
Unfortunately, I have an
had,
office job.
right, yeah, you gotta remedy
I got to
that.
change that.
Um but I had somebody who bought a bunch of Steelers stuff. I had somebody who bought a bunch of Cowboys stuff. A big Eagles sale, and that's what I really noticed has picked up a lot for me in the last few months, just getting to the higher listing numbers. And again, you got to list stuff that sells and players people want. All that stuff has to go with it. Um, but there are all kinds of collectors out there, and we're really
Yeah.
appealing to the collector, not a reseller and things like that. So you have to think about what your end user might be looking for, and that Russell Maryland Cowboys card where you're like, that's a 10-cent card. I'm not listing that. That might be the card that gets your cowboy buyer in there because you listed
Yeah.
and nobody else did. And then they buy a couple Emmets and a couple, Leighton Vander Esch and a couple, you kind of you got to expand it out to the point where you're not just listing Barry Sanders and Tom Brady. Now those will sell and you'll get those deals, but you're going to get the same buyers over and over again that way. You don't have any way to attract the Cowboys buyer with that inventory. So I think it's super easy to be like, oh, this is a no brainer. It's a Tom Brady card. I'm going to list that. But then it gets a little shadier in your head of what do I do with this card? How about a Patrick Surtain Uno card? Should I list that? Like, is there going to be a buyer for that? You might be surprised with some of those. I think we talk about it a lot on the Discord. Like, holy cow, I got this sale, or
Yeah.
even somebody will even post one of their sales, and some of us will reply like, "You sold a Joe Kelly card," or whatever it is, and um, y- you know, jockey cards and water skiing squirrel cards, and there's somebody out there for just about everything. Now you can't really list everything either, so that's the other challenge. You only get so much space. If you have 500 listings only, and you've got a premium store where you can go up to 60,000 listings, my suggestion is list everything you possibly can. 'Cause you
Yeah.
can always pull it down later if it doesn't sell. But
Hmm.
although you're paying for all those listings every month, whether you use them or not. So if you've got um, if you've got the premium store and you get 60,000 listings, you're paying $60 a month, right? So you're basically paying a penny a listing. Actually, no, that's a tenth of a penny.
Weren't you a banker?
Tenth of a penny. Yeah, I'd add a zero. I left out a zero.
Don't
So
forget to carry the knot.
yeah, exactly. Um, so you want to make sure that because you have to pay that $60 a month every month, whether you
No
use
matter what.
60,000 listings or not. So I would just suggest listing as much stuff as you can. It's not that much fun to try to go clean up later things that didn't sell, maybe, or toss them on auction, or whatever you want to decide to do with it as your listing count gets tighter.
Yeah.
Um, but in my example, where you have 500 listed and you've got 60,000 available, probably going to be a while. So
Yeah.
take what you got, especially if it's scannable, where you're not spending any extra time on it. Throw it in the scanner and get it on there, and just see what happens. See if you get a buyer out of it.
Yeah. I think I've kind of followed that path more lately. So if you recall, when I started, I was pulling my collection out of bins that I had put away for years. And when I did that, I really cherry picked the collection to get started with selling. And there were a lot of cards that I looked at and I said, okay, right into the dime box. But now, after doing it for a while, if I buy a sealed box of something, um, I do list just about everything. I may cherry pick the hot cards first and say I got to get these out immediately, but then I'll put the rest of that box aside for just a day or two, and then I just start feeding it through the scanner for that very reason. Like, it is the hot new product. Someone's trying to complete a set. They're looking for every card in that set. So why
Right.
not list it? And if I need to in 2 years, when maybe I'm hitting 60,000, I can always pull those down and transfer them over to buy sports cards or something.
And that's one of the things I love about the game cards, NFL 5 cards and Uno cards. I had an order yesterday from a buyer who bought 27 Uno cards and another 20 some. I don't remember the exact number, but it ended up being like 50 some cards. The other cards were all NFL 5 cards from a few years ago. So these cards are great. It's kind of like Pokemon. You need commons to build decks and things like
Yeah.
that. These are cards that are usable in a card game, and there's a lot of players on these that don't normally have cards in other sets. Uh, here's a here's a Commanders Jeremy Reeves. How many times do you see Jeremy Reeves on a card? Probably,
0.
probably not real often. Um, so I like stuff like that. Now they're not going to make you $1 million. However, today I bought 5 packs, the last 5 at the Walmart by me, and I actually got the case hit in one of those 5 packs, and I sold it for
I
28
saw
bucks.
that.
So I paid. Here's the case hit. So I paid $25 for the packs, and I sold this one card for 28. And it's just Taylor Heineke. It's not even like a good player or anything. Like
Want to touch the hiney?
player with hobby or anything. But that's the beauty of stuff like that. You know, you can get those kinds of sales. And then I still have all the other foils because you get 4 foils per pack. So I have another 20 foils or so to list out of those, which do pretty well, and then stacks and stacks of the regular colored cards. So I was happy that I found a few more there today. I like picking a chunk of those up every once in a while, and
Sure.
they've sold really well for me. And you're going to get, for a common player, you're going to get maybe $1.50, $2 out of it, maybe $1 if you're doing like a coupon sale or something. And then, the normal players you can get better money for. Like you can get $4 or $5 for Mahomes. You can get a couple bucks for Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow and Jordan
Yep.
Love and stuff like that. And then it really ramps up if you get the foils. Um, I think the last Mahomes foil sold for like 38 bucks or 39 bucks or something. So they sell pretty well.
Yeah,
And
I've seen them
again,
out
they're
there. I haven't picked any up.
usable in the game. Yeah. Well, they're $44.88 a pack, and you get
Okay.
65 cards. So I mean, just quantity wise, it's a pretty good deal. So you get 60 or 64 cards, because you get 60 regular color cards. So there's yellow, green, blue, and red, and then each player has each color
Okay.
as a quote unquote base card. So here's green. And then you get 4 foils. You get a little separate pack inside the box that has 4 foil cards in it. And some of them are variation photos. There's, like I said, the case hit ones I guess they're not technically a case hit. They're SSPs.
Super short print.
But from my research on it, yeah. But from my research, it's 1 per case. So to me, that's still a case hit. But regardless, I just think it's a great little product. And there isn't that much 2024 football product out. So for some of those players, that have changed teams and things like that, this is one of their first cards they're on for the year. So I don't think it's like an amazing long-term play, but I think for this current season, while people are building Uno decks to play and stuff or collecting it, there's a ton of cards in the set, of course. So because you have one of each color and all, so you should be able to find some buyers that are buying multiple cards.
I
I've
gotta
seen
say,
lots
it's
of
really, really hard for me not to watch your monkey. Keeps
that's
moving
what
his
she
head
said.
around.
That's what she said. Do you want to pet my monkey?
Whoa, hold on now.
Yeah. But I've seen a lot of people buy like, okay, Patrick Surtain, and then they buy all 4 colors. So if you can get, complete colored sets of some of the players, you can get some multi-card sales that way too.
So do you think they're
I'm
just
not here to.
doing a binder with them, trying to complete a set?
I don't know, or if they're using them in the game. I really don't know. I don't know how much competitive Uno play is out there. Do not buy the starter sets. Those are not a good deal
Okay.
because those are $15 and you get basically a pack's worth of cards in there, 65 cards. So you get 4 foils and 60 cards, which is the exact same thing as what they call a booster pack. And then you get 100 base Uno cards.
Okay.
So they don't even have players on them. They're literally just like the regular yellow Uno card with an 8 on it or whatever it is. So you really don't want those 100 base Uno cards. Kind of doesn't make sense. I'm not
Right.
quite sure why they did that with this product, but I guess if you were like had no Uno decks at home, it would be a way to like get the base cards for the Uno deck.
Is it like a way to get maybe started?
Yeah, but I still think you could do that with the regular decks too. But anyway, um, but yeah, they're these little boxes. It's just this little box, and they have a hang tag, so they just kind of hang by all the other little Uno packs in the store. And then this is the pack you get inside that has the 4 foil cards.
Okay.
Then the rest of the cards are just basically loose in the box. But at least they protected the foils um, from being searched or whatever. But yeah, love those cards. I think they're awesome for if you're a budget seller, which is what this show is predicated on. They're perfect. If you want high end, Patrick Mahomes patch autos numbered to 5, Uno's not for you.
Not the way to go.
Nope. But name a pack of cards where you get 6 cards in it that you can get for $4.88.
Nothing anymore.
They're not fancy. They don't have foil on them. They don't have holograms. They don't have anything super fancy on them. But there are technically parallels since there's different colors of them. And then the foils is the real clincher because if you're paying $4.88 for the pack and you get 4 foils, all you got to do is get like a buck of foil,
Yeah.
and that's not hard to do. I've been averaging like low end foils for low end players. I have some here somewhere. I can't remember where I stuck the foils from today. But you're going to get a lot of like lower end players and stuff like that, and but even the lowest ones I've been getting like $4 or $5 a piece for.
Okay.
So
Seems
if you
pretty
pull a
decent.
if you pull a decent name one, you'll do pretty well with them. I don't remember where I stuck them. I just moved a bunch of stuff around on my desk here, and I don't remember where I put those foils. They have to be listed, so you got to be here.
Uh-oh. Maybe Salacious took them.
Hey, you never know. He's got the hot hands. I mean, he is. Yeah,
He's got a deal worked out with the Rancor.
right. Exactly. That's gonna drive me nuts. Oh, there they are. I got them. I have a couple working piles of list this stuff on my desk right now, and I couldn't remember which one I put them in. And of course, they're on the bottom of the pile. But here's all the foils I got from today.
Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, so they're shiny. Some of them have, like I said, have variation photos. Like this is a pretty good one. This is TJ Watt. I should be able to get like $8-9 for that one.
Yeah.
I got Garrett Wilson, but then I got a bunch of no-namer guys too. Here's a variation photo. So this is a 2-color play. This is Cade Otton.
Okay.
It's got like a close-up photo of him, and then you can play green or blue on that one. I don't want to occupy the whole show with Uno, but here's a pretty cool variation one. It's Chris Godwin.
Okay.
So the ones where it's
Well,
like a
that's not a
closer up
no-name
photo
guy.
of them. That's not a no-name guy, no. And that's green and blue. So the ones where it's kind of a closer up shot of them versus like just a regular action play kind of one like this,
Yeah.
single color, it's yellow. Those are the ones that are like the variations, and that's the stuff you really. Here's another one, Carl Lawson. You can see again the close up, and then red and yellow play. I got Sauce. But yeah, you just don't get like a ton of huge names on them. But again, that's not the point in this product. If you want
Right.
really nice Patrick Mahomes cards, you don't buy Uno. You buy, Prism or Optic or whatever. Um, you're buying this stuff for like the no name players and stuff. That's what I love about NFL 5 and why I always bought a case of it every year. Because it was my chance to get a bunch of random linemen and we talk about lineman
Yeah.
cards all the time, remember?
Yep.
Um, and it's like Joe Thomas cards. I mean, one of the greatest linemen of all time, and he still doesn't have very many cards. He has more cards now than when he was playing, which is crazy.
Probably. Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Enough
actually
of Uno.
curious about that. I got to research that. Joe Thomas. When did he retire?
Oh gosh, I'm
Like
not the right
4 years
person
ago,
to ask
something
for
like that.
stuff. Maybe. Yeah, maybe something like that. I
Let's
don't know.
see.
What do you think, Salacious? He says 4 years ago sounds right.
4 years ago sounds right. Um, Drafted in 2007
Correct.
and
Had to have
do
at least played like 15, 16 years, right?
you know
I
he's a
would think.
coach for the Munich Ravens now?
I did not, but that makes
He
sense. He
he
was so
played
good.
his
I'm sure he
last
coached.
season in 2017, so 7 years ago now.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
He's got
Time
2,062
flies.
cards.
Which sounds like a lot, but I bet Mahomes has that many each year.
So you do the math on this. In 2018, he had 67 cards. 2019, 116. 2020, he had 241.
Yeah, I told you. He's getting more cards now.
2021, he had 202. 2022, 147. 238 in 2023. And this year, 70. So what is that like? That's like half of his cards after he retired, right?
Yeah, right. I
Holy
kind of know what I'm
cow.
talking about.
You do sometimes kind of know what you're talking about.
I do. I try to make it sound like I don't, especially because I got a quacking monkey on my shoulder. But yeah, I mean, just observations, right? So, all right.
Things that make you go,
Things that make you go, why? Why are they making so many Joe Thomas cards? It's funny how some players get more respect when they're done.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you hear about Randy Moss?
I know he
Just
stepped
bad.
away from the game. I don't recall why, or stepped away from the announce table.
Yeah, he's got like couple major health problems, I guess.
Okay.
So, I'm not exactly sure what they are either, and I don't follow that stuff real
Are they
close.
weed related?
I don't think so. Was he a weed guy? I don't remember that. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
probably, but
Yeah, he is.
yeah, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I gotta move this because it's in the way of my microphone. So yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but it sounds like it's kind of a big deal. So
Okay.
hopefully, I always liked even though I'm here with Brett Favre and the Packers. I always liked Randy Moss. I thought he was a fun character and
For sure.
hell of a talent. Hell of a talent. Best wide receiver I ever saw play in the years I watched.
You just got mossed.
Yeah, right. And then I was actually in the end zone. Do you remember this game against Green Bay? I think it was a Monday night game, and it was raining out. But I remember the game when he went in the end zone and did like the fake mooning thing. It was like
Yes.
right in front of me. I was on like the 15-yard line or something in that end zone. It was pretty funny. Yeah, he was something. There was a lot of wide receiver characters right around that time. You had Terrell Owens and mean, Dion was still kind of doing some of his stuff. Trying to think of who else was the big showboaters. Oh, Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco. Who else? Randy Moss. Well, anyway, so yeah, it was kind of this crazy core of wide receivers right at that time with their attitudes and the things that they would try to get away with. All right, should we get to some chat?
Let's do it.
All right, we've got 26 viewers, so I think we're getting close to our peak, and we'll bust open the box of Card Dealer Pro goodies. I don't think it's anything earth shaking in there. But I just thought it would be kind of fun to see what was in it.
Sure.
Most of us use Card Dealer Pro, or at least know Card Dealer Pro, and I think would enjoy that. So, all right, first one here we got Art Green. He says, "Good evening, all. Good evening, Art. Thanks for joining us." Bill says, "What's up?" and we say, "What's up?"
What's up?
Found Treasures is here. He says, "Hang 10, buddy." Art's got a question for us. Hold on, I gotta adjust some monkey. I gotta adjust the monkey. I'll be right back.
Are you gonna touch your monkey?
Yes. He's when you wear him long enough, he tends to slide a little bit. So.
Oh, I bet.
I gotta adjust the sliding. Yeah, he's a slick monkey. Yeah. It's a good way to put it. All right, here we go. What are your take on stores having breadth versus depth? I've been thinking as I expand my store that I need to focus more on stars in each major league and focus less on depth in a single sport. Great question. We kind of addressed this in another way already tonight. I don't know that there's a right or wrong answer to this. I think you have to build your brand and decide what you want to do with it. If you're asking me personally, since you say what is your take on it, I like to have both. Not to put too fine a point on it. Unfortunately, I'm guessing that's not the answer you were looking for. You wanted one or the other, but I think you kind of have to do both because there's so many different customers out there for cards. Like we talked about earlier with, some being into to team collecting, some into player collecting, some into just collecting Hall of Fame, whatever. So I don't know. I think to my point earlier, I think it's easy to be like, okay, I'm just going to buy a bunch of Tom Brady and resell them. Everybody wants Tom Brady. Well, A, that's not true. And B, there's a ton of sellers with Tom Brady stuff. So how's that gonna stand you out? Now you're gonna have to start taking bigger discounts because of the competition. I don't really think that that's the best way to go. I think it's the best way to start. Best way to start is to have some cards that you can understand easily, you can move. Will bring, there are more collectors of Tom Brady than potentially any other football player or at least close to it. And I'm just using Tom Brady as an example. There's obviously all the other sports. If you're a soccer guy, do you only want to put Messi stuff in your store? I'm going to say that's probably not a great idea. He sells well. He'll be the goat. Goats are goats. They don't really go away. My Kowakian monkey is. I think he might be falling asleep. Hold on. Let me adjust him here. You get up there. There we go. Now he's at attention. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a simple answer. I think you got to have some diversity. You got to have some sure sales things. You got to have some liquid stuff. But a lot of it also comes down to what can you find to acquire? What are you paying for the cards? Do you have to price them aggressively to sell them? And if you do, can you get them cheap enough to be able to do that? So there's just a lot of variables into that. And I think that's a tougher one to answer than just do breadth or do depth. And in fact, those terms can even be used interchangeably depending on how you look at them.
Sure. Yeah, I think I tried to set a foundation with more breadth across the categories. So, of course, I have the big three. I've got football, baseball, basketball. And then I've got hockey. I've got MMA. I've got F1. I've got NASCAR. I've got I've got pickleball, which I sold another pickleball card the other day. And then I've got a lot of different non-sport categories, right? So I did cast a pretty wide net. I've got golf, I've got sports cars and stuff like that. And early on, I think my focus was more breadth to get a little bit of everything. Now, as I continue to develop my store, tweak my strategy, learn what sells, what doesn't sell, and just learn what I get more enjoyment out of sometimes too. I do sometimes feel myself focusing on some categories more than others, and then I think I'm naturally building more depth in those categories. So, for example, I will go to a card show this weekend, and I guarantee you, I'll be going through boxes, and there are some boxes that just by the nature of the category of cards in there, the sport or whatever it may be, some I will be super excited, and I'll look at another box next to it priced the same but is a different category, and I'll be like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what it is. When I get excited, I'm looking at baseball and football cards or some non-sport. When I go, ugh, I'm like, oh, another basketball box.
Same. Same.
So,
And I think sales kind of directs that for you too, right? Like
yeah.
I was just thinking about this today. I could look through a box of baseball cards and see a bunch of Juan Soto stuff and be like, man, I don't really want to buy Juan Soto. But in the last week, I sold like 30 some Juan Soto cards. So now when I go through a box, I'm gonna be like, hey, Juan Soto, that sells. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Um, so it's funny how, sort of the what's hot now kind of thing sort of changes it for you as a seller too. And to some degree, that's smart for your inventory too. Like, okay, if I just sold all my Juan Soto cards, it is probably something I want to buy at the right price and
Yeah.
and restock a little. He signed a contract for 600 gazillion dollars or whatever the hell it is. Um, but that's not going to be the end of it. And the Mets have a good team. They had a good team last year. They'll probably be a better team with him on it. So you want to try to take advantage of that time um, when there's excitement behind him. And I feel like the money in baseball, the prospecting money in baseball, comes earlier and earlier every year. It used to
Yeah.
be like, okay, spring training, that's when you get your prospect stuff out. I feel like, well, part of it too is because I think Bowman keeps coming out earlier and earlier. But I feel like as soon as that Bowman hits, it's like Prospect City. And I'm not talking about just the recent release because that makes sense. It's a new product. But even like prospects from the year before or the year before that tend to start having that spike again. And we're not even into January yet.
Right.
So yeah, I think different sports are different animals. And you have to kind of take it one at a time and decide, yeah, how far spread do you want to get. I also think you need to decide how big of a store do you want. If you want to have a
Yeah.
store with 1,000 cards, I wouldn't spread out too much. If you want to just keep adding and just keep growing and you'd like to have 1,000,000 cards in your store at some point, well, yeah, then you're gonna have to spread out and go deeper because you know otherwise you're just going to be carrying 1,000 copies of the same Tom Brady card. But yeah, I think it's a great question, and I think it's something that Charlie shared his experience about, well, I started out as this, and then I kind of evolved to that. Now I'm evolving to this, um, and that's basically been my journey too. I think, though, I think that that information changes as time goes on. All right, Annie Kelly's here. He says, "Good evening, guys. Good evening to you as well. Thanks for joining us." Dan says, "I'm late coming in tonight and probably missed introductions, but is that Crumb?" By George, it is. Are you Crumb? Yeah, this is my man Salacious Crumb in his little reindeer outfit tonight. So he came ready to party. This is our special guest for tonight, by the way. I was teasing a special guest earlier. This is it. This is as good as it gets on our show.
Now we can afford.
That's all we can afford. Yeah, he a couple of treats and he's good to go for the whole evening. So it's very very reasonable pay. Um, yeah, I've had the Kowakian monkey for a while, and he kind of sits in on the top shelf in the movie theater, sort of overlooking everybody. And got this fun idea to bring him on the show tonight. So he's joined us as well. But of course, we still have Stuart the goat, and he's all uh, holiday spirited up in his little sweater and stuff too. Oh, there he is. He wants to yell at the goat too. I wish the Kowakian monkey was louder because he has a really sweet laugh.
He's got the laugh.
Yeah, yeah, he's got the sweet laugh, but it's just a little tiny speaker, so it doesn't project well into the mic. What do you guys regularly watch on YouTube within the card genre? That's a good question. Um, I think we've talked about this before, but it's been a while. We haven't had this conversation in a while. So I actually don't watch a ton of it um, because I do it for work. I don't want to, just like you guys, you work in a you know factory all day. The last thing you want to do is go home and watch people working in a factory, right? Um, So I kind of feel that way about it to some degree. But I do watch the Sports Card Investor. I mean, it makes sense. He's got such a huge channel. He gets big guests on there. I really like Neo Cards and Comics. He does like news, daily news type stuff. Um, but he's got some really good viewpoints and he picks up on some interesting things. So I like his show. Um, I used to watch Card Collector too. I don't really watch it anymore. He doesn't really have content out there that I like to consume. He used to do a lot of like card show buying and stuff. I haven't seen that recently. Um, Trying to think instead of saying who I don't watch, I should say who I do watch. Uh, I watch Charlie's channel. I like the liquidity list. I think that's a good one.
I got a visitor here. Excuse me for a moment.
Ooh, but yeah, I think those are probably the only two that I really regularly watch. Watch a couple breakers. I like Pac Man. He's a big. Um, keep losing my headphone here. He's a he's a big breaker. Like he's got
What's
like
going on there?
200,000 subscribers or something. I think the guy Quacky Monkey's ear. Like his little ear keeps pulling my headphone out. Anyway, so I really like Pac Man. I think he does a good job with his openings. He does some really big stuff. $10,000 boxes, or he'll buy like 500 packs of prestige and he'll open them until he gets a kaboom. So you get real nice, really long, good videos with. I mean, everybody wants to see somebody pull a kaboom, right? That's a good content draw, viewer draw. So I'll watch his stuff once in a while. Just watch some openings. I also like to do that too to just see new products. So you know if Optic's coming out, I want to see somebody open a couple boxes of Optic and see what it looks like. I did that with those holiday Donruss football tins because I really like the basketball ones that have the parallels, the illusions ones that have the avalanche and the winter and the blizzard parallels
Yeah.
exclusive to those tins. They're really cool looking. And then they were like, "Oh, football! Finally, a holiday football product," because we never get one of those for some reason. And it's literally just like the Donruss base cards in a tin. It's so dumb. Um, and I watched somebody open like a case of those tins. I felt so bad for him because he got completely skunked. And so that was good because I'd have spent, $15 on a tin or two of those because I really enjoyed the basketball, and they sold well for me too. Um, but no go on the football.
Yeah.
So I tend to watch more of the rips of products I would actually buy. Like once in a while, I'll watch a break of a box of Immaculate or something just for the entertainment value. But I'm not buying boxes of Immaculate. So some is entertainment, some is research. How about you, Charlie? Do you have any particular YouTubers you watch regularly?
Yeah, I've got some content I watch pretty regularly. Victor, the rookie card specialist, I like to watch some of his stuff at times. Of course, we talked to him at the National. Um, let's see, our friend Bo, I like to turn on 1 Million Cubs project. I don't get to watch it every morning because I'm in the office. But I like to watch some of his replays, and if I am home, I often turn it on. Um, for Rips, there is a channel called DGen Rips that I enjoy watching, just because he's really honest about it. He shows he's losing money on a lot of rips, and just
I've
has some
watched him too.
fun,
You're right. He's pretty
yeah,
good.
some fun graphics and stuff that take me back to the 80s and 90s. And let's see, Wax Pack Gods. A lot of times I put them on in the background just to learn more about old junk wax sets. Hey, is there a card or two in there that is worth looking out for, and things like that. I sometimes get a few gems out of their content. What else? Just kind of looking through some of my subscriptions to make sure I don't miss anybody I wouldn't want to skip on here. Choo, 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 choo. I do check out the Card Dealer Pro channel occasionally just to see what kind of new content they have. And one of the newest ones I have been checking out is our own friend of the show, Keith All. I've been
Oh,
keeping an eye on what he's up to with his sales out there.
oh, good idea. Yeah, I haven't caught his channel yet. I was aware that he had one, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Um, for me, a lot of times the YouTube is just something I put on in the background while I'm scanning cards, listing cards, pulling orders, whatever. And I don't want to watch more cards. So that's probably the biggest thing for me. If I was just watching in my own time, I might do more of it. But I generally put on like old Christmas commercials and weird stuff like that. That's kind of my jam.
A
Things I
lot
don't
of
really have to
times
pay attention to.
a lot of times I turn YouTube on when I go to bed as kind of the wind down channel to watch, which is why I don't watch a lot of your videos right away, because it's kind of weird to be in bed and watch you on TV. It's just
The Quackian monkey doesn't mind.
So I try to save your content for, when I'm working on cards in my card room and stuff.
Fair enough. An appropriate our audience. Yeah, that's it. I used to watch a lot more than those. And I just yeah, just don't do as much of that anymore. I don't watch a ton of YouTube either. Like I said, it's more just background noise for me. So I don't know. I've watched have you watched like the Tops Rips channel where it's
I
actually
do.
Tops
I do
channel?
watch some of that. Yeah.
So I kind of forgot about that one. I do watch that one once in a while. It's kind of fun to see like the players or the celebrities come on and open some product and talk about how cool Tops is and all. That's all paid promotion type stuff, but it's okay. I really like the Kevin Smith one, and he had Katie Sackhoff on there, who was
Yep.
what the heck's her name? Can't think of her character's name, but anyway, they opened some Topps Chrome Star Wars stuff, and talked about their favorite characters and things like that. I dug that as a super nerd. That was a fun one. Um, so yeah. All right. Lofi Joe's here. He says, "Evening. Funny you mentioned Uno Elite as I just sold the first one after a few weeks on nothing. Yeah, they're not going to be like the hottest thing, on the market, but again, for the cost of them, they do kind of stink as far as listing because you can't scan. They don't show up in Car Dealer Pro.
Okay.
So I mean, you can scan them, but you still have to list them yourself. Maybe in the eBay listing you could do it. I don't know. I usually just sort them by color and then sort them by multiples because if you're buying 8 or 10 packs at a time, you're going to get plenty of doubles and stuff. And then I just kind of do it that way and whatever. But yeah, I've gotten quite a few sales on them. So just if you like them and you think they'll do okay for you, stick with it and get a bunch listed and you'll sell them for sure. Barton is here. Welcome,
Good
welcome. Good
evening.
evening. Moss has an issue with his liver. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I
I
heard
thought it was
some
a
of
heart
that, but
thing,
then
but
I also saw where his family came out and said, "No, that's not accurate." I don't
okay.
know. Yeah.
Matt Marg is here and he says, yeah, it's possibly liver cancer. Well, on ESPN on Sunday, he had shades on because his eyes were yellow, which is a good indication of a problem with your liver.
Yeah, I did hear
Oh,
he has to wear glasses when he is on now.
interesting. Yeah, hopefully he can get through it. I pretty young guy yet, so hopefully
Yeah.
he can make it. Art says agree with you both. Wow. Didn't expect that. Uh, I think right now I'm really focusing on hockey and football, but really want to build out baseball and basketball more. I think that's a great plan. Really nail down the stuff that and you like, and get that out there and get a regular customer base and sales base. Have stuff listed that you understand, and then start to work on what are some other things that you could pick up and add. Uh, I really like the hockey angle because there just aren't that many hockey sellers. There isn't a ton of products being produced.
Yeah.
Um, so I think there could be some niches to carve out in the hockey market yet, especially if you're in the US. There's a bunch of bigger hockey sellers in Canada, uh, but not quite as many in US. It's
Yeah.
not as big a market either. Obviously, there's less buyers of it. So they do kind of go hand in hand. The supply is less, but the demand is less too. But I still think that's one that you could do well on.
I think you really have an advantage if you are a hockey fan too, because I feel like the stars of hockey are not promoted like the stars of football and baseball. So
No,
I really struggle with who are the big names now.
yeah, unless your name is Gretzky. I mean, they
Right.
pushed that. They pushed the hell out of Gretzky. I remember when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I saw as many Gretzky commercials as I did Michael Jordan commercials. It's crazy. Um, and even now with big stars like Crosby and Bedard and Ovechkin
Stills
and
and
things like that.
Nash.
Yeah, you don't really see much of it. Uh, this is just my personal take on this too. I don't think the leagues do a good job promoting players that are not Americans.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one to have said this. I've heard this from others too. But I believe like if we think Luka Doncic is the greatest player in NBA, where is he? How come he doesn't get any endorsements? How come we never see him anywhere? You see plenty of LeBron, you see Curry.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he get anything? Ovechkin is the best hockey player. Well, where's Ovechkin? I've never even heard him do an interview,
Yeah.
let alone get a commercial or a special skate or something to help promote that sport. Him being a standout athlete in the sport. Um, so I don't know. I think that hurts a lot of those sports. A lot of the sports where it's not big Americans playing. There's some exceptions to that. I mean, you got Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he's huge, and Major League Baseball is pushing him all over the place. And obviously, he's not American. Um, but I feel like there's a lack of promotion. So when if your sport is dominated by foreign players or non-U.S. players, I guess is a better way to put it, it's gonna be pretty tough, I think, to get some attention. So, all right. Peter says just got home to catch the last few minutes of the Goat Show. Softball in December, anyone? Only in 48-degree Florida. Yeah, there's no softball here. We had a light dusting of snow. Temperature wasn't too bad today. I think it was like low 40s or high 30s, which for us is pretty good. But it's supposed to be getting pretty cold over the next few days. So yeah, I don't go outside now for like 3 months, basically. unless I have to. In a car maybe, but not like outside activities. Brandon is here. He says, "What's up, gents?"
What up?
You got close there. You almost said gentlemen. We'll let gents slide because it's at least it's a slang. Yeah, we're doing well. Thanks for joining us, Brandon. Dan says nothing like being in bed watching two dudes with a monkey and a goat.
Hey, man.
It's just like college. Yeah. Our show gets weirder every day. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing anymore. But thanks for putting up with us. Let's see. Mark's Cardboard says Starbuck. I don't know what that's referring to. What was I talking
Maybe a
about?
creator?
Starbuck. No, I don't think so. Clarify. I'm guessing you posted that a while ago during many previous conversations. Arts' hockey average sales per card is really healthy in the U.S. I can't find a ton of it, but margins are great. Yes, I truly would believe that. I just think the number of sales is going to be less. And you got to go get the product. I think getting the product, like I buy a lot of my, cards out of value boxes at shows. I don't see much hockey. If I do,
Sure.
I buy it. But you might have to go on eBay and just try to get some big lots and things like that. Try to do it that way. Excuse me. Because I don't know. I don't know where you get your stuff from. I think that's something else you have to. If you're going to get into hockey, you have to kind of figure that out. Especially with the Bedard pit chase, people were dumping great cards they knew nothing about for pennies.
Yeah.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, pick them up, buy them, resell them. That's a great time to do that. 0 degrees in St. Paul right now.
It's on its way to us.
Yummy. Yeah, I didn't know you were in St. Paul. That's fun. I'm trying to think of. As far as equator wise go, you're not too much further north from us. I mean, you're definitely west, but I think you're
maybe a degree.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting that you're that much colder right now. But Charlie's right. I think you're passing it on to us because we're supposed to get some of that. I don't know if we're getting that low, are we? I heard teens.
I don't know. Hey, I know the wind's coming in. I saw on my phone it's supposed to feel like 20 below tonight.
I can't see anything on my phone.
You got to get better quality stuff.
Oh no, I have top quality stuff. This phone is like, okay, so this is the Galaxy Fold 3. They just released the 6. So I'm a little behind on the
25 degrees, but feels like -9.
Oh, that sounds right. Yeah, the wind chill stuff. I thought they weren't going to call it wind chill anymore, though. Weren't they just saying like dangerous cold? And
I never heard that.
Yeah, they said they're not going to call it wind chills anymore. They're going to
Why is
call it.
wind chill offensive to ice cubes or
I
what?
don't. I don't. I don't know. But they were going to try to simplify it, and it was going to be like cold, and then like kind of like tornadoes, right? So there's a tornado watch, and then a tornado warning. So they were going to kind of do that with cold weather. It was going to be like
Let's
cold.
simplify it by making it more complicated.
Well, yeah, that's they have to have something to do. Those people need jobs, so you give them something to do. You create something like that. With Canada postal strike, does it help U.S. hockey sellers in the short run? Uh, Potentially. The By the way, the Canadian strike is over. I think it ended yesterday or maybe this morning, so it's very recent. But they'll be back to work. But yeah, it might. The danger in that though is like, let's say you're in the U.S. and you sell a hockey card to somebody in Canada. Oh, excuse me. You sell it to somebody in Canada. How does it get there through that post? I don't know, because I'm sure the U.S. doesn't carry it into Canada. They would drop it off at Canada, and then Canada would deliver it. So you might have a problem with a sale right now if you're trying to get it to Canada. Like I said, the strike is over, so they should be back to regular mail carry, but might still take them a week or two to recover, from all the downtime. Lofi Joe says short. Oh, short run. Yeah, we knew what you meant. Uh, I don't think much. Lofi international shipping program costs are high, and right now are the only way to get packages to Canadian buyers. Yeah, I haven't had that great of experience with Canadian buyers because they charge them the regular like huge international rates that they would charge if you were sending it to like China, which makes no sense to
Mm.
me because all it does is cross a border. Canada's closer to me than Texas is, yet I can send something to Texas for 69 cents and it costs me $16 to send it to Canada. It's so stupid. It makes no
Right.
sense. It's a well, I don't want to get into it, but there's pissing matches happening there, and that's causing part of the problem. I believe in free trade. If you've got something in Canada I want, I should be able to get it at an economical price, and vice versa, because it makes no sense to have it any other way. Let's see. I'd have to be higher dollar card, rarer card to take on that cost. Yeah.
True.
Um, yeah, I would think that's going to slow you down unless you can find buyers who are just willing to pay $16 for a $1 card. I guess if they want it bad enough. But yeah, I don't know that you're going to get a lot of that. Let's see here. Just reading Art's next comment that the Canadian Post strike still ongoing. Oh, actually, you're right. I thought I saw this morning that it was done.
Hmm.
Uh, quick quick resolution to labor dispute appears unlikely as tensions flare. Um, Canadian Post strike continues as sides clash on wages. Hmm. Yeah, I would probably avoid sending anything to Canada if you can right now, because who knows where it would end up. It, we all assume that somebody cares about the mail that you're sending. I'm not sure that's really the case.
True.
I think the logistics of get it out of here, get it out of here, get it out of here is the motivation behind it. And if nobody's doing the work, I don't know. I don't know where you might never see that ever again. Eau Claire is close to 0 degrees with some nasty wind. Oof. Yeah, I'm guessing it's pretty windy here too. I can't see from my cozy little basement office, which I adore. Um, but yeah, we're kind of gearing up to get the same thing here. Yeah, Canada post strike has killed my sales to about 35% of what I was doing. That hurts. Yeah, that's not good. Such is the world, though, right?
So what? How are you handling that with the strike going on then? Because I believe, yeah, Art's the same. I believe he's in Canada.
Yeah, he's in Canada. Um, I guess you have to try to get stuff to the U.S. or maybe sell a different product for a period of time. Pick up some comic books or some. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. You'd still have to mail them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe try to do more card shows if you don't have a card show near you. This might be the perfect time to set one up. You might have all kinds of people that would come out and purchase table space, and you can pick up a bunch of cards and move some cards that way. You're just gonna have to find a workaround.
yeah,
That's part of running a business. And I've said this before. The biggest part responsibility to running a business is to finding all your workarounds because not everything works perfect, and no one's going to tell you what to do. You got to figure it out. At least until like Art says here, at least until it resolves. Maybe you can get some cards really cheap. So this might be a good time to, if you've got capital,
buying
buy,
opportunity.
yeah, buy and kind of sock away. Um, I don't know. I'm only selling big cards right now. My cheapest shipping option is $18 through UPS.
Oof.
Oof, that's brutal. But yeah, if you that's a good strategy too. If you move to cards that are $100 plus, you'll probably still get buyers at that price with UPS. They still want their cards, and Postal's not going to get them to them. So um, that'd be another option. But I really like getting some card shows going. If you don't have any, I think that would be a great way to get around it. Just cut out the shipping. You can't ship stuff. Well, then do it so you're not shipping. Or do Um, I don't know a whole lot about Canada's, open market, but if you've got like Facebook Marketplace or any of those where you can sell stuff, locally, that might be a way to do it. So yeah, that are big cards. Yeah, those are kind of the only two plays that I see right now, especially if you're selling hockey in Canada, because you're not going to make it up with the U.S. market, even if you had buyers that would pay in the US for shipping. It's just not there just isn't as much market.
And that strike's been going on for what seems like a really long time.
It has been, yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
over a month now. Well, right about a month.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Evan has joined us. Welcome, Evan. Daily reminder to dig through those dollar boxes. Oh, we do. That's literally my YouTube name here. Um, Found a Judge buyback for $5. Used it to pick up a Harper image variation and Joe Mauer gold out of 2008. Nice. Yeah, that's a great way to get some gains. Um, I kind of forget about it, to be honest with you, because I don't do like wax and boxes and all that. So I forget about like, oh, hang on to these Judge cards because you can turn them in. I probably sold a few of mine under the $20 price tag too. Um, but them's the breaks. If I did, I definitely got it cheaper than that too. So I still made my profit, and that person can go in and trade it in for the credit. A $20 credit at a card shop doesn't get you a whole lot of stuff either. So you kind of need a few of them if you're going to get anywhere with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Troy says it's going on its fourth week. Yeah, sorry to hear it. It sounds like they were getting somewhere, now they're not. So it might be a while yet, it's really unfortunate for um the people of Canada, right? I mean, they're the ones that are probably losing out over this whole thing.
For
I mean, I
sure.
feel for the employees if they're not being compensated correctly, whatever. I understand the positions there, but uh, um, yeah, everybody just wants their mail, and it's not happening. So the Quackian Monkey says, "Get off your butts and let's get this thing figured out so my Canadian friends can get their Christmas cards on time." Let's see. We need more thumbs up. Adam's friend won't bite them off. I can't
You might
promise you
try.
that. He's getting feisty. Yeah. Great time to promote ourselves here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so everybody knows. Share it with someone if you think someone else might enjoy it. Let them know we're live every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Myself, Charlie, Stu, and sometimes Salacious Crumb. I don't know. He might be more of a regular. We'll see.
Just drops in from time to time.
Yeah, when he's got some time to hang out, we'll bring him in here. We have lots of fun, great conversation. We try to help each other out and provide tips, tricks, experiences. Um, I think we do a pretty good job. We've got a great audience here. We always have a good active chat that asks awesome questions, gives positive feedback. So,
Except for today in the Discord. You weren't very helpful in the Discord today.
oh, wasn't I? I didn't really spend any time in there today. I had this phone issue thing was a nightmare. I had to go into the
Yeah.
Verizon store and yeah, and then I had to make a couple retail stops today, and shopping is insane this time of year. It took me
Yeah,
forever.
I was working. I asked that question about the templates from Card Dealer Pro into
Oh
eBay,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
and you're like, well, I don't have that problem. Essentially, I'm like, thanks, Randy. That was helpful.
Well, it's true. I don't. Um, yeah, when I after you said, "Oh yeah, it's in my template," I'm like, "Oh yeah." When I set up my template, I just turned it off right away.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
don't
I
know how
just
I
assumed
missed
you
it
did that.
before.
Yeah. But yeah, I've never had that issue, so I just assumed that it was set up right from the start and ready to go. Because if I've never had it happen once. Um, yeah, it's one of those things you got to constantly tweak
Yeah,
and manage that way. That's one nice thing for my second eBay store. I'm gonna basically use the exact same templates, so I don't have to recreate any of that at least. And I'm glad because I've already accidentally listed a couple batches on my
accidentally.
other store. Accidentally, I was logged into the wrong eBay. Something you just got to get used to. Um, but yeah, in the new year, that'll be the big focus, setting that up. I have a ton of bags to pull forward in my inventory too. I've just been pulling cards and pulling cards and pulling cards,
Yeah.
and so I have these big spaces in my drawers now of depleted inventory and bags. So tomorrow morning, that's going to be one of my focuses too, is moving everything forward, creating some new space, which I enjoy. That's actually kind of fun to me to do. Evan says your tips are always helpful. Look to implement them where I can, and haven't let me down. Oh, I appreciate that, Evan. That's what we're here for. That's the whole reason we did this. Um, I was the grizzled vet set in my ways, and Charlie was the fresh new kid on the block, eager to learn and
And
provide
ask
some
why.
ask why, provide some insight on the new angle of things, and yeah. So we're glad that there's a lot of that other people see value in it. That's definitely what we're shooting for. All right, should we get to our? We're kind of caught up there. Should we get to our big box of Car
Let's
Dealer Pro
do it.
stuff? I think I'm
CDP.
going. I think I'm going to put Salacious down for a little bit. I'm going to let him play in his playpen. See, he's getting rambunctious here. He wants to
Got
go.
a playpen? I thought
He's
he'd
got to
just
play.
climb
He's
back to
got
the
to.
highest point in the room.
Yeah. Well, that's what you'd think. He would if I would let him. I don't want that. So I'm just gonna let him take a nap for a little bit, and then I will grab the Car Dealer Pro box here. There we go. All right. So we have this giant box.
It's ginormous.
It's actually kind of heavy. I'm like, what the heck did he put in here? It's a BCW box, so that kind of threw me for a loop because I'm like, I didn't order any BCW stuff. And I just ordered Elite Card Savers. So I'm like, oh, did those come already? I just talked to the guy that I buy them from. Because he was supposed to be on vacation, and I'm like, dude, I'm running low on card savers and I need them for business. He's like, I'll ship them out to you tomorrow. Like, thank you, appreciate you. But that was just yesterday, and I got this yesterday, so I'm like, there's no way you got them to me same day. But yeah, so it's this big box from Car Dealer Pro. I was kind of expecting it. We had talked to our good friend there, Alex. What we wanted to do at the show and do the demos and stuff. And I asked him if he would, consider sending us some stuff to help us promote it. And he of course said yes. And this is what's
really good folks there at Car Dealer Pro. They're always there and available to help you out, whether it's questions or whatever you
have. I do have my tip cards that I picked up at the National, which kind of shows you the process of scanning and listing. And then, scanning tips is on this side. My bad.
Yep.
There's your scanning tips. And then this is your, how to use Car Dealer Pro, basically. So I'm assuming some of those will be in here too, which I think are probably the best handout that way. Oh. This is a box of fun. Can you see any of that?
What is that?
We got hats and shirts and all kinds of craziness.
Look at that. Are you gonna model some? Oh no, your memory's full on your laptop.
Yeah, fancy, huh? Yeah, we'll let it pick up here for a second. Okay, so we've got some shirts. Look at this little collect shirt for Luna. He sent me something for Luna. Isn't that great?
Nice.
This is this is the extra small. So it's a little tiny person shirt.
Very cool.
For my child. So that was really nice of him. And then I'm assuming this is a bigger boy shirt. This one's a medium. So it won't fit me, but we'll find somebody to give it to, I'm sure. So we've got this one, which is a nice Car Dealer Pro shirt. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Right? And then we got this one. Is this the same? Oh yeah, this is the same one. So we got a couple of those. So we got some shirts to give out or raffle off or do something with. Yeah, and here's another one.
I like the color on
this one's an XL. So we got one that's a little bit bigger size here. Same logo on it. This is a little bit darker blue color, I would say. But pretty cool. So we're gonna give that stuff away. For sure. Then we've got this is fun. We got a stand-up display, card display. It's kind of cool. It's got I don't want to open it. One stand fits all. It's an adjustable stand. Display any card in your collection. So you can put a graded card in it too. So it's a little stand like this, and then there's a little dial here that you can turn. So it pinches
it.
Yeah, it pinches the card to the front part of the stand to hold it in place. So that's pretty cool. We've got some hats. We've got a few hats. We got this sweet Car Dealer Pro hat, right? And then we've got they're all the same. We've got 3 fancy schmancy Car Dealer Pro hats.
Nice.
Pretty cool, huh? So Charlie and I might have to commandeer one of those, and we'll give the other one away. There's an all touch sealed pack. I don't know what this is, so we might have to wait. It's got like feels like there's indentations and stuff on it.
Is that like a magnetic case, maybe?
I don't think so. It feels different than that. Feels like a giant chocolate bar. But I can feel like indentations and stuff on it. So that'll be fun. We'll have to figure out what that is. All touch. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's got to be a case of some type.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got the larger kind of Card Dealer Pro flyers. Which has a little bit about Card Dealer Pro on the front, and then on the back it kind of tells you how to operate Card Dealer Pro. So that'll be good. So some bigger ones is kind of nice too than just the card sized ones. And then, as suspected, we got a whole bunch of the little card sized ones, which is great. We got a stack of those, and then a stack of these, which is I like this one too. This is the one that has collects on it.
Okay.
So it tells you how to use collects with Card Dealer Pro. And then on the back, it has all the standard envelope guidelines.
Perfect.
So, sizes and weights and things like that, what the postage would be. It doesn't have the specific amounts because obviously postage changes and they didn't want to print that on something. But it tells you, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, that kind of thing. So, that's cool. And then we've got, let's see what else we got. We got some, this is kind of fun. We got little flyers for the Fujitsu 8170.
Okay.
Check this sucker out. And ScanSnap. Have you ever heard of ScanSnap? It's down here.
No.
I haven't either. ScanSnap SV600. Must be some kind of fancy scanner for like maybe graded cards and stuff.
Okay. Looks like a book scanner.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's hard to see exactly what it is, but you can kind of see
Johnny
it's got like
Five.
you know what's funny? I was thinking the exact same thing. Are we like old and nerdy or what?
Johnny Five alive.
Johnny Five alive. That's Short Circuit, everybody. If you haven't seen it, go see it. All right. Or you know what else it made me think of?
What's it?
Gyromite. Do you remember Gyromite?
I don't. That
Gyromite. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, so remember when Nintendo first came out and they had that like deluxe set where you got the little robot guy, and you would control him, and he would drop like little pistons onto the controller, which would push the buttons and make the character do the stuff on the screen.
I definitely never had one.
He looked just like this. He was like he basically looked like a small version of Johnny Five.
Okay.
So kind of fits that MO. But anyway, yeah, interesting. I'd be interested to find out more about that. So I like this because we do the demo and somebody comes up and says, "Oh, how do I do Card Dealer Pro? Here, take one of these." "Oh, how do I do scanning with cards? Here, take one of these."
Yeah.
"Well, what scanner should I buy, or what scanner do you guys use? Here, take one of these."
Yeah.
It's good to have materials. I mean, I'm willing to tell anybody anything they want. They can take photos, they can write it down, whatever. But to have something to take with them, I think is a positive thing. And then we got a nice big rack of Card Dealer Pro stickers.
Nice.
So we got something for the kids. I can guarantee you one of these is going to go on my inventory cabinets. I got all my cool stickers on there that I've picked up at the National and other shows. So we'll throw one in there, but it looks like a pretty good sized pack, probably 50, 60 card stickers here that we can hand out as well.
There we go.
So all in all, I think that's a pretty fun pack. I think we got some cool stuff to hand out. We can do some stuff for prizes. We'll have to talk about that a little bit more, exactly how we want to do it. Um, but we're hoping to see a bunch of you there. If you're not from the Green Bay area and want to come out, that'd be awesome. Let us know. We'd be happy to help you figure out some accommodations and show you around the town, take you to Lambeau, do all that good stuff. I have a casino like a block from my house. It's crazy to say that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sound it sounds weird when I say it because I never go there, but when I have friends visit from out of town, they're like, "You have a casino right here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." um, a full one, like the full casino is there. You can go in and play, you know, dealer table cards and
Slots, table games, sports
slots, and
book.
all the stuff is there. I think they have like horse betting and all kinds. Yeah, they do pretty much every. I think there's a bingo. I think there's a bingo
Yeah.
hall in there too.
Hmm.
So anyway, crazy to think that that's so close to my house and people are like, you have a casino? Yeah. It does seem shocking. Anyway, um but yeah, January 12th, we're going to be set up there doing our demos. We're going to have plenty of great dealers there. Still trying to find out about um getting a live stream break going there. I'm going to call tomorrow and find out some more about that. Try to follow up on that. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We're looking forward to it for sure. It's Goat Show 2.0. It's our second one,
Yeah.
so better than the first, and yet still something to build on going forward. I'm really intrigued by what this is.
It's a
All
magnetic card case.
oh, did you look
100%.
it up?
Yeah. Yep. It's a magnetic card case. 100%. We lost you again, Adam. You're freezing up.
I'm here. I'm here, and I did so well tonight. We almost made it to the end there.
Started off really good. It's just the last maybe
I
20
know.
minutes. It's breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, just need to get that upgrade. Um, let's see. We got a little bit more chat. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. 2 minute. This one here. What's up, fellas? I've got a case of Topps baseball holiday tins ready to rip. Looking forward to it. Yeah. If you're gonna, when you post the video, post it in the Discord and stuff, and I'll go check it out. I'd love to see your videos.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have a good time. And I am a big Topps holiday fan, so I would that is a rip I would watch
Yeah, I've been
for
watching a
sure.
few of your videos there, Keith. You're doing a good job with it.
Yeah, and I'll give you. Did I sub? I don't even know if I subbed yet. I thought we had a conversation about it, and I
I don't
subbed
know
your
if you
channel.
did. I know I did.
Yeah. But I'll make sure to go ahead and do that once I get on a video. Art says have a great night. He's got an early morning. I can respect that. I got an early morning too, but I work for myself, so it doesn't really matter if I show up late. The new fiber line is too fibrous. Yeah, it's definitely not my internet, not at all, because I do it with the phone and have no issue. So
I'm still
it's a
waiting
computer.
on that fiber line, man.
It is really really nice. The hardware matters too, obviously, for certain things that you're doing. But yeah, it's just everything's so snappy. Um, especially if you have a lot of things going on at one time on your internet.
Sure.
Um, it just handles so much more. That's the biggest thing at my house because I work during the day for the most part. I have some early hours too, but my wife works here. Her father lives with us, so he's got the TV on, and he's reading web books and doing all this stuff. And then if the 9-year-old's home, she's always got her phone and her tablet and the computer and the TV's going and all that. So it's um really nice to have something that handles that. more for the uploads than anything else. So the biggest difference I've seen is like YouTube videos. If I shot um the sales video this morning, and it takes me like 2 minutes to upload it, whereas it would
Yeah.
have taken me like an hour and a half or 2 hours or more. And that's if you don't lose it in the middle of the upload either. It just smokes your battery and everything. So that's where I've seen the biggest impact. Because I think download I was getting, it wasn't a gig, but it was probably like a half a gig, so like 500 or 550, and now I get like 8 or 900. So I mean that sounds like a lot more, but it's really not.
The
But
upload is huge when you're a content creator for sure.
yeah, because upload was like 28 with cable internet, and I'm at like 8 900 um with fiber. So yeah, I mean it's a huge world of difference that way. And then of course the cost in the company, that was a big motivation
Yeah.
to jump as well. I've been happy ever since. It's just I have a couple of pieces of hardware I got to upgrade. I think I'm going to eventually upgrade my mesh network uh to what they call like 6G or 6 in-house or whatever.
Yeah.
Um because I have a Google mesh network, and it's like the older pod ones. They work pretty good, but um there's some more efficient pieces out there. That would be a
Yeah,
an
it
upgrade.
was actually about this time last year that I signed up for the fiber, and I had really, I don't know why I was so optimistic that I would have had it put in this past summer, but still waiting. No ETA on when it'll be in my neighborhood.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you have lines at least? Is there lines put in
I
yet?
don't know.
Because they have,
I've seen their crews working in the neighborhoodish, like within 6 blocks of me. So
okay,
it's got to be close now, but just
because
wasn't on the
gotta
roster for this year.
they gotta come and dig and drop these pods in there because
Hmm.
they're self powered, or the lines are powered on their own. So they
Okay.
drop pods in for every few houses, and then they run the fiber out of that to your residence,
Yeah.
wherever you want it run to. So
Okay.
they got to get a trencher out there and dig up your yard a little bit, and it's good times. But once it's in, I've got zero complaints, especially out
Yeah.
by me because Time Warner goes down all the time with being in the woods. It was always out. So and my cell phone doesn't really work here um, when we don't have Wi-Fi, because again I'm in the trees and we don't have towers or anything here. So uh, even just to keep my phone working, and it's a battery backup, so your even if your power goes out, you can still run your internet,
Yeah.
which is actually kind of handy. I can do a lot of my business from my phone. Um, so if my power goes out and I can at least keep my Wi-Fi running, I can still work. So those were the biggest motivating factors to me. And all things considered, it was pretty smooth tonight. So I think my cleanup did help quite a bit, but it,
Would
it
agree.
it can only do so much. It's an older. I think I paid $140 for the laptop, so it's not a very good one.
We had
Uh,
a we had a technology sale at our office today, and I missed the boat. I think because people were coming back with $40 and $60 HP laptops that we were off selling, and I probably could have used one just to set up
for
for the
scanning,
scanner and stuff,
yeah.
right?
That's what I was just talking to Bree about that this morning. I think that's what I'm going to do with this little laptop. Is it's just going to be my scanning laptop, and then I'll use the other one for everything else, streaming and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I had problems with the camera on this one, and there's
Yeah,
other things that, and I get a little chunk of time here and there where I can just do some tech troubleshooting type things and try to clean stuff up and whatever. So I spent a little time. I knew I absolutely couldn't use my phone tonight because my screen wasn't working. So I spent a little bit of time and cleaned up the computer a bit. And I definitely saw a positive change tonight. But yeah, I still need to make that upgrade. So we'll see. Now I had to buy a new phone, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have to wait on the laptop.
Oh,
We'll see.
shucks.
I know. I know. Actually, I didn't have to buy a new phone. I have insurance, so just I didn't even have to pay the deductible because it's not cracked or anything. It just stopped working,
Okay.
so it's not a damage. It's not like I did it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they basically just send me a new phone for nothing, and then I of course have to move everything over to the new phone, and then I have to send this one back. I can't keep it. They get to refurbish it or whatever
Sure.
process they go through to do something with it. Uh, but I get a brand new phone and more importantly, a brand new battery because this one's like close to 4 years old, I think.
Okay.
And all of you who've had cell phones, you understand that eventually your battery starts just not performing. And this one isn't bad for being 4 years old. It's still the battery still holds up, but I can tell like things I used to be able to do for an hour and 5% of my battery would go away. Now like 20% of my battery goes away.
Right.
So I can see it's starting to have that effect. So anyway, so hopefully that comes at a decent time tomorrow and I can get everything moved over so that it doesn't interrupt my work too much and can keep going. Uh Open it up. Let's see what's in the pack. See if Charlie is right. I
Open
could.
it.
Should you want me to open it?
Open it.
Should I open it?
Open it.
Yeah.
Open it.
That's like you do a video and you've got a sealed box and you're like, "Should I open it?" Of course everyone's going to tell you to open it. They got
Yeah.
no horse in that race.
Exactly.
Do you want me to open it? Should we open it and see what
Yeah,
it is?
open it up. Open it up. 100% it's a magnetic card case.
Why is it in like a foil pack though? Makes no sense.
Because it was shipped.
Okay.
And All Touch is, I think they're
Um
relatively new. They got some fancy marketing yet.
let's see here. I'll try to open
It's
it as
childproof.
best I can on. Yeah. Well, it's basically like a card pack. Oh, that's why it felt bumpy. It's got like this weird, the
Yep.
sticky plastic like they put on electronics and stuff.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, it's a form of magnetic, a little bit bigger. It kind of reminds me of the old screw downs,
Okay.
but instead of the screws in the corners, it's got little magnets in each corner.
Yep.
If you can see that. So that's cool. Well, we can give that away. That's not a bad thing. There's always people looking for supplies, that's for sure. I can't repack it in this thing real nice now though.
No.
There, brand new.
Where's your heat sealer?
So yeah, that was right. Yeah, I do. Of course I have one. I have a heat gun. I'm a costumer. Gotta have a heat gun. All right. Maxxis fiber doesn't make much of a difference in most residentials. Yeah, I mean, I think for your download, if you're just downloading on your internet, you're probably like we just discussed this, obviously before we saw your answer, but um, it's definitely still faster than my old cable line was, but you don't. It's not quite as noticeable as the upload is drastically different,
Yeah.
like night and day. Keith says, thanks for watching. I was working on improving before posting links to my vids in Discord. LOL. I've upgraded my lighting equipment. Surprised how much I enjoy recording. Well, that's a big part of it because if you don't like
Yeah.
it, it's probably not a good thing to do because it's a tad tedious and
It's a
you get
commitment too.
yeah, it's a commitment. Yeah, once you start it, you kind of got to provide regular content and start building an audience. You got to handle that, and then there's trolls and bots, and there's editing and all kinds of things that can go into it. So glad you're having a good time with it. Um, far as lighting goes, yeah, I don't. That's where I lack a lot on my channel is I don't have the tech stuff or the tech skills either. So I don't have fancy lighting. I don't have fancy audio equipment. I don't have any of that. And I don't know that I will. I don't. My channel isn't that kind of a channel. um, doesn't produce a lot of income. It's not. It doesn't have fancy videos, anything like that. So yeah, it depends on what you want to do with it, but um, never a downside to upgrading your technology when you're trying to make content. That's for sure.
Right.
As long as you're cool with putting the money into it. Max says pop a new screen in for $15 and call it refurbed and make 350. Batteries aren't an infinite thing. Yeah, absolutely not. Um, yeah, the screen is actually fine. It's the entire. So the Fold has a functioning phone on the outside and then a functioning phone on the inside. And the outside phone just completely does not work. It doesn't turn on. I can't touch it. Um, doesn't respond to anything, so it's completely dead. It's not it's not like just the glass is bad or cracked or something like that. It's literally the whole thing.
It's a short
So
somewhere or something.
yeah, so they're gonna have to, if they refurbish it and resell it, or whatever they do with it, they're literally gonna have to go in it to figure out what it is. But it's not that big a deal. I've had this phone, like I said, for almost 4 years, so I got way more than my money's worth out of it. I'm probably on my phone like 18 hours a day. I kid you not, between just work and some games and chats and all kinds of stuff. That's where I pretty much do everything. So um, yeah, got my money's worth out of it. And this was an early Fold, so it was a pretty new technology that they were still kind of trying to figure out. The new ones are more slender, which is good, and weigh a little less, and so there's some good improvement as far as that part of things for me too. So I'll get a new one tomorrow at some point. I got the U, UPS tracking, and because of course I got to sign for it and everything. So I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
guess I'm staying home all day tomorrow. Um,
Wait, don't you always stay home all day?
no, I go to the post and I do, there's always errands and stuff to run here. But yeah, it's yeah. So once I get it tomorrow, I'll hook them up, copy everything over, be good as new, and hopefully I get another 4 years. Um, yeah, Max says more bells and whistles aren't always a good thing. Yeah, for
True.
sure. I feel that way about cars. So I drive a Wrangler, and I still have a key. You got to put in the ignition and turn, and um, it does have power windows. You can't even get crank windows anymore. But I don't have like a bunch of fancy cameras in it or anything like that. And then my wife's uh, car has like everything. It's got heated seats and power this and 5 cameras and sirens go off if you get too close to somebody, and like it's insane. If you start trailing too far out of the lane, it pulls you back into the lane.
Yeah.
Um, it's crazy. So it's amazing the night and day difference between the two models from the same manufacturer. But to each his own. So I agree. I always kind of feel like that too. I'm like, well, there's more computers in it. That's more computers that are going to break and I have to pay for. So, but such is life.
Absolutely true.
Cars, almost all cars are run by computers now, so you're going to have it no matter what.
So I don't know if you've looked at the calendar yet, Adam, but we've got our normal Wednesday night next week, and then the next 2 Wednesdays fall on a holiday, Christmas and New
Yep.
Year's Day. So next week, we'll have to think about this. This might have to be our year-end wrap-up next week, and then we have some time off between shows.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably going to be the case. Because let's see, that's So that Wednesday is Christmas or Christmas Eve? Which what did you
Christmas
say?
is the following Wednesday, and then New Year's
Yeah.
Day is the following Wednesday after that.
Yeah, I would do New Year's Day. That doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
If you want to. Christmas Day, not so much. um,
Yeah. So next week would definitely be our last show of the year.
yes, I would say that that is accurate. And then we'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll announce next week if we're going to do a January 1st show. Might be kind of fun because we can sort of celebrate the new year. We can talk about our plans for um, what we want to do with our card businesses in 2025, and might be a great day to do that if you're down. I don't know what kind of plans you make for New Year's, but it's not New Year's Eve. If it was New Year's Eve, I'd be like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Everybody's got stuff they want to do, but New Year's Day night, meh. I'm going to be working the next day, so it's really no different to me. Not a drinker or anything, so I won't have those kind of problems. Um, so yeah, we'll talk about it and let you know. But otherwise, um, for sure not on Christmas, and then might be a couple weeks after that. Yeah, we'll see. Or we could switch to a Tuesday. I really don't want to change the days. I like the consistency. I feel like you guys know now. Hey, Wednesday live. We'll jump on. I think it's. I like that part of it. I don't know that I want to switch. Um, so if it can work for the first, great. If it can't, that's fine too. Yeah, we'll just have a couple weeks off. I've got plenty to do. I need recovery. I've been working so much. Card sales have been insane. I got stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff I got to keep pulling to ship. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, um, a week off without a show might be okay too. I can take a nap instead.
So next week we probably want to talk about kind of our successes this year, our learnings this year, and maybe look back at the goals we set
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and if we actually accomplished any of them or not.
Yeah.
Um, I've kind of talked about it in some recent videos, but I have some more insight on that. So I think that's a great idea. That's exactly what we should do. Um, and then yeah, we'll the following show, the show after that would be what we're gonna do in the new year. So whether that is on New Year's or it's the week after, those are the two next shows, main content. Um, and then we get into the second week of January, and then it's goat show time.
That's right.
So we should have everything truly nailed down by then. We'll have everything booked. Ooh. Um, I think
Did someone
earlier
say
today.
goat show?
Did someone say goat show? I think earlier today, talking in the goat show group, I think we're getting pretty close to uh, some targets on our bookings. We do have some tables left, but I feel like we're in a pretty good space and get some more flyers out this weekend. We got a show we're set up at, so we'll get the word out to a lot of dealers. We're in Green Bay, so it makes sense. And on the east side besides, which is nice.
Right.
Um, so get a bunch of flyers out, talk to a bunch of dealers, and get some more stuff booked up. So we should be full in plenty of time before that show. So I'm really looking forward to it. Um, yeah, that's it. That's kind of going to be the plans. The plans going forward. I didn't have any other topics I wanted to cover tonight, so
Okay.
we can finish up the chat here, and then I think we can close it up. Max says I've never understood Jeeps either. To be honest, ridiculously expensive SUV or under utility truck. Funny. It serves the purpose of neither. Love it. I love my Jeep. I don't think I'll ever buy anything other than it. I like the versatility of it. It's a great winter vehicle. It gets around really well. It's comfortable. It's got plenty of seating. I always like the looks of them. Um, I like that in the summer I can take the tops off and the doors off and things like that. That's kind of fun.
You used to watch The Fall Guy when you were a kid, didn't you?
No, but when my grandfather got back from the military, he bought a Jeep kit because this was before like civilian Jeeps, right?
Yeah.
And he bought a Jeep kit and put it together and used to drive that around and I loved it. I thought it was great. So I have that tie to it too, and yeah, I like the camaraderie between Jeep owners and stuff. They're, I mean, ridiculously expensive. I don't know about that. When I was shopping for it, it's like the same price as every other SUV. They're all ridiculously expensive. Um, you're not wrong there, but it really wasn't any more than any other SUV out on the market at the time. Maybe a couple thousand more, but nothing like astronomically more expensive than anything else. So, but yeah, to each his own. I mean, if you like Tahoes, go buy a Tahoe. I don't want a Tahoe. I wanted a Jeep. And I like the customization options. There are more options for a Jeep than any other vehicle on the market. I haven't done a lot to mine, but I just like the option that I could. I guess I intended to do more than what I did, and then eventually you just kind of, this is my car. I drive it now. Um, but my daughter loves it. She loves it when the tops are off and stuff, and riding around. And her friends like riding in it. So I don't know. I love it. Max says Thursday shows. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I don't think we're gonna do that. Speaking of calendars, it's hard to find a cool sports card calendar. Hmm, interesting. Uh, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I haven't. I don't think I've seen a sports card calendar. Have you,
I
Tony?
haven't either. It's a good call.
Yeah, and I'm surprised there isn't one out there yet. That would be kind of cool. Canadian Post live show two out of the next 3 weeks. Then it is. Yeah, Canadian Post live show. Um, yeah, Canada, man, you guys got to figure this one out. Pay these people or figure something out because you got to get mail to people. Going on too long. Uh, N.A. Kelly says Jeeps hold value better than any other SUV. That is true. Um, my vehicle has not really gone down in value much. Obviously, when you first buy it, it tanks like every vehicle, but
When you leave the
it's
lot.
really, yeah, it's basically been worth the same amount of money for like the last 2.5 years, 3 years. I don't look at it a ton, but like I don't look up the value of my car regularly, but um the few times I've done it, it's like, geez, it's still worth that, and I got another 20,000 miles on it. So yeah, that there's a good part to that. Um, there's always demand for Jeeps. There's always people looking to buy them, and that's a positive. I actually get not recently actually, but in the past, I've gotten mailings from dealers in the area that are like, "We want your Jeep. We want to buy your Jeep. We'll give you this if you could bring us our Jeep." And so they have customers that are looking for Jeeps, so they try to obtain Jeeps. And the best way for them to do it is for you to trade it in and buy one from them because they can make money on the sale and then make money on the sale of yours. So
Right.
so they're willing to pay up a little bit to entice you to come in and get a new one. Excuse me, and then sell your vehicle for full price to the demand market for a used Jeep. Um, so there's that. But we can argue all day long about vehicles. I'm not that into vehicles. I don't really care. I just like Jeeps, so I bought one. It's pretty much that simple. And I haven't been disappointed. I've had that Jeep since 2018, and I don't have any intentions of not having a Jeep going forward. So obviously, it served me well. Same thing with the Fold. Um, when obviously I had to get a new phone, it was like, oh, do you still want the Fold? Yeah, I still want the Fold. It's the best phone I've ever owned, and I love it. So if you can send me another one, I'll take it. um and I know Pixel makes a Fold now too, but I've just always bought the Samsung products. I've really liked them. Again, I've always been happy with them. So I'm going to stick with the Samsung Fold. And the price on these has come way down. i
Yeah.
bought the very I bought the very first Fold when it came out, and it was like $1,500, and now they're like 500 or 600 for the newer models. So um they're not free, but it's still a premium phone, but a lot more reasonable. So if you put it on like the monthly payment plan, it's like $25 a month.
Yeah.
It's not outrageous. It's affordable for most people. But yeah, I like that phone. That's the phone I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna go out and buy an iPhone because everybody else has an iPhone. That's not me. I got my stuff I like, and that's what I get. and I do a lot on my phone. I like the customization of it. It's one of the biggest reasons I always stayed with Android. I get a phone, I don't use it the way it is out of the box. I go in and I modify my trays. I use a different tray app, on how it delivers me my apps, and I organize everything. And I don't know. I have my ways that I want it to be. That's the whole point of a personal device, in my opinion. Um, so that's why I've always stuck with that. And they're always ahead on the tech. They're ahead of Apple on the tech. So that's the phones that I am going to stick with for now. And it's handier than you think, being able to have a phone that you can open up and have some bigger view of some things. It's really nice for the games too. Have the bigger screen.
See that?
I buy stocks and cards to hold value. Not looking to flip a vehicle. Yeah, I'm not flipping a vehicle either. But it's nice to know that when I do decide to go and do something with it, I've still got value. I mean, I think everybody would want that. People are starting to think they are worth way more than what their work entails. Oh, I don't know. I haven't done any work on it, so I don't know what to tell you. Trade in value when you go for a new one. Right, exactly. That's going to be your best value always. When you buy another vehicle, they're going to give you something for it. I won't get into phones. Anything non-Apple is just inferior tech-wise. Oh yeah, we're not going to agree on any of this stuff tonight, so that's fine. All right. So I think that's it for. Whoops. I didn't want to.
What was that?
Don't want to have any.
I never saw that before.
I clicked on the StreamYard viewer one. So this is like a sample. If there's no chats, you can click on this, and it's like it shows you what it would look like if there was a chat. We always have chats, so we never have to look at the example.
Right.
Anything else you want to add? Anything we didn't talk about, or?
No, I think we covered a vast variety of topics. I know I woke up this morning and I said to myself, wonder if we're going to spend 10, 15 minutes talking about phones and Jeeps tonight. And we did. Imagine that.
I could have told you that was going to happen. Actually, I don't. How did the Jeep come up? I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I don't remember either, to be honest with you.
Anyway, yeah, it's not like the Jeep comes up very often. I like my Jeep, but like I said, I'm not a big car guy. It's not. I don't sit out in my garage and stare at it and admire it or anything like that. It's just, I think it's vehicles are pretty much utility, right? It gets you from point A to point B. But if you can have one that adds a little fun to it, I like that part. That interests me. So that's why I have a Jeep. You have a little Jeep too.
It's kind of a faux Jeep.
Yeah, it's definitely not a Wrangler.
Yeah, we got a Jeep Renegade. I probably wouldn't get another one. If I were to get another Jeep, I would get like full scale Jeep.
Yeah, same. I had a Compass before this.
Yeah.
We were in the process of doing some other very expensive things at the time, and went down to one economical vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's the one we chose, and it did us well. I mean, I got a lot out of it. It was really inexpensive at the time. Paid like 18,000 or 20,000 for that brand new. It's crazy.
Yeah.
To think about that price now. So it was nice to get something brand new. We knew we were going to be at one vehicle. We wanted something extremely reliable and all that kind of thing. So a new one made the most sense that way.
Yep.
And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was an okay vehicle. So I thought I'm going to jump to the Wrangler. Once I'm out of this other spot and I can get the vehicle I truly want, that's what I'm going to get. And haven't been disappointed yet. I really enjoy it. As much as I can enjoy a vehicle, like I said, I don't go out there and, change out the spark plugs every week and
same. I'm not a car guy.
No, I drive it from here to there. Sometimes I don't even the doors off.
I don't even drive the Jeep that much. I drive the Silverado more frequently.
We drove we drove it a whole hell of a lot when we went to
We did for the national,
Cleveland.
yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of Jeep time on that. But I have to say it did fine. Like
It did,
did
yeah.
us it did us well.
Yeah.
We almost got thrown off a cliff a few times by a UPS driver, and we drove through downtown Cleveland, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great. It was great. So no complaints there. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. Parting thoughts from you, Charlie.
Just peace out. Take care of each other.
Remember, you can't sell what you don't list. We'll see y'all next week, maybe for the last time, for a couple